All right, we should be live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Veg Holiday Market Facebook 101. And we're all decked in very wonderful holiday get-ups. So I'm Denise, and I am the ED of the Toronto Vegetarian Association. And you have our regulars. Guys, want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Barbie, and I just want to point out, because I'm not usually in this setup for these checkout, this is where I'm at the TVA office now. I just want everyone to see our really cool Happy Rescue Animal Farm poster in the background.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of beautiful animals that I'm celebrating in
Ugly Christmas sweater. Your elf's head just fell off.
Yes, it's been a few years. I have had this on, and it feels amazing. So today, as you realize, we're well, at least on my end, that we're all from different multicultural backgrounds, and we wanted to share what we do for our holiday tradition and how we've been able to veganize it, over the years, and share some tips with everyone. If this is your first vegan or vegetarian, holiday season, what it is that you can do. So I'll just start with me. So I'm Trinidadian. I have a Caribbean background, and Christmas is very much celebrated in the Caribbean. So even whatever your religious persuasion, it doesn't matter. It's one of the common events that everyone celebrates together, especially it's the end of the year. So typically in the Caribbean, there's a lot of rum and whiskeys and beers and all of that, and traditionally a lot of meat. But I've been lucky that I've been with the wide array of vegetarian options in Trinidad, that I have been able to not have to be stressed about it. Although I've always been surrounded by that, I've been able to take what's good out of my vegetarian heritage and celebrate it with, a lot of rice, and Christmas rice in particular. If you've got rice, brown rice, and you mix it up with some butter, vegan butter, and you put like raisins and cranberries and different carrots. It looks like really festive.
Is it sweet or savory?
It's actually savory and with a bit of sweetness. So it has the look of Christmas, because it has the cranberry, the raisins, and you can put like nuts in it, and so it's like with some butter, and then if you whatever spices you wish to add, but it just tastes really good with some like regular onions, garlic, and some salt, and
butter and rice, and then
so
that's
rice,
like an interesting thing. So you put the butter like on top of the cooked rice, or you cook the rice?
I saute the cooked rice in there, and then I add all these different toppings, and it mixes a mixed rice, and then the look of it. So that's very popular, that Christmas rice thing. So a lot of people also do fried rice. There's a lot of rice, and then you can add like whether you do a stir-fried vegetable with that, and then we also do rotis, and rotis can typically just be made with oil. So I'm sure all of you, Veg Food Fest, there's a lot of people doing rotis. And then we also have beans. So like whenever I go to my mom's house, I would cook like half of the dishes, and she would cook the balance. So I'd go there, she'd have the rotis, she'd have the red beans, and we'll just fill our plate with the rice and whatever vegetables I'm done, or whatever, baked potatoes or something. And then we also had this new tradition where we had a vegetarian, like a vegan ham, where it was something that looked like a real ham, and I don't know, it was like basted with beet juice, and the texture, I've not found it in Canada. Maybe I haven't looked hard enough. I know Parker is doing something through the vegan guide, but it was really huge. And I remember I never had ham, so
that was like a product.
Yeah, it's a product, right?
There?
It's a frozen product, and it looked just like a real ham. And I remember looking it up, and I basted it with like brown sugar and mustard, and I put the cloves and I put the rings of pineapple, like,
Yeah.
and I baked it. And so my daughter was asking me, when are we going to get that here? So that's kind of like, everything there is actually vegan. And then we always had non-alcoholic wine or whatever it is. There's a Trinidadian drink called pear drax. That's kind of fuzzy. It's a pear-based thing, and I look for it here, and I actually get it at Norfrills. So I'm not missing out any of my drinks. And then I've really built off on. There's a lot of fake meat options and all the sides that I do. And then I think what I've added since I've come here to live and I'm vegan is the baked side of things. I can do a bit more with all the recipes of Santa and Bull and Pauline and everyone. So that's a bit of my story, but it's always been spent in Trinidad with my mom. And with my family here, we typically do it alone. We do all the cooking. We've got the tree, everything. So so that's me in Trinidad, in Canada, just continuing my traditions. And I've already had a vast array of foods that I can share as a family. So so I want to hear about Barbie and your Jewish traditions, or anyone else.
Well, I just wanted to point out that Tofurky makes a vegan ham roast that you can buy. And it's just like, it's called vegan ham, and it comes in like a little mesh thing, just like a real ham. And my sister actually, and I have tried it, it's pretty good. And but also Sam Turnbull has a recipe like that for like a tofu ham, where she actually like puts the cloves in it and the pineapples and stuff. When you were talking about that made me think about that. So yeah, there's definitely options here in Canada.
Yeah. I saw her newsletter came in with her Christmas holiday sort of feast. So I think I'm going to check that out. So Barbie.
Yeah, sure. So we are 1 day too late. Hanukkah finished yesterday. So these will be tips for next year, or if you want to keep going. I do want to, again, just before we move on to the Hanukkah, I'm just going to share my screen for one more Christmas related thing. This is, can everyone see this now? Yeah. So this is an idea that was sent in from one of our volunteers. Some of you may know her, Jeanette. She lives in Guelph. And you may know her from our Veggie Challenge booth at Veg Food Fest. So what she's done here is these are all individual cupcakes that she put together to make a Christmas tree. And I feel like I saw her post this picture on Facebook like 2 years ago, and I've been wanting to do it, and I never have, but I just think that's really cool. So
I've seen birthday cakes like that. Yeah. So then like everybody gets their own piece.
Yeah.
Yes, that's popular. Yeah. That's really trendy now.
It's funny because I can't think of too many, like aside from latkes, which are an obvious thing that people eat on Hanukkah. I couldn't really think of a lot of things that we like ate specifically or like had for dessert and stuff. I will say that actually Wednesday we did a little Zoom Hanukkah dinner with my parents, and I made latkes, and I've tried a few. Like I feel like I've never really had like a go-to recipe, and it is normally in latkes the eggs really do bind the stuff together. So I have to say that I haven't had like fantastic success with vegan latke recipes, but this Wednesday I tried a new recipe from Colleen Patrick Goudreau, and it's on her website. And it was like the best that we've ever done. And it was really good. And it smelled like just very, I don't know, oniony and good. And so I would recommend if you're looking for,
I've been craving latkes all week because I've been seeing so many pictures on Instagram of like menorahs and latkes and everything. And
potato pancakes were like a big thing that like my grandma used to always make. And we just like have those for dinner, but they're like a bit different than latkes because they have shredded potato in them. So they're like
that's
a little
what
bit.
Latkes are too, like grated.
Because like because some of them I've seen where it's just like pureed potato, and then these ones it's like more hash brown. Like the ones that she baked were like more hash browny. But oh my gosh, those
that's
are
interesting. I wonder is that like a specific, like a Lithuanian thing? Like they call them potato pancakes, or?
Well, I know Free Times makes their latkes like that. They do like, it's
Oh,
like
really?
standard mushed mashed
Mushed?
potatoes. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
yeah. Yeah.
And they have
Mm.
other stuff that uses like the pureed potato thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
My mom worked in a Jewish deli when I was a kid, so
Oh.
latkes were a staple in my
yeah.
household when we were growing up.
That's so funny. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I think I would have made a potato pancake once with the grated potato. I think I may have followed a recipe once, and I'm visualizing what it
Yeah.
looks like and what it tastes. But I think I think all of these holidays have just amazing, just the food stands out. And so Sarah, what is it that goes on in your house? Do you sort of touch base with your Ukrainian heritage?
Yeah, I mean, we usually do. It's funny because I'm Ukrainian, German, Irish, and something else I can't remember, Hungarian. And
Okay.
the only like ethnic food we draw on is the Ukrainian culture. So yeah, we'll make pierogies and cabbage rolls for dinner on Christmas. And I know I mentioned in the Thanksgiving live that my mom has come up with veganized like recipes for all our standard sort of Christmas dishes. So now we just have a completely vegan Christmas. There's no meat dishes at all. And we have a tofurkey and the pierogies and the cabbage rolls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But for Christmas, like what I do, like the what stands out for me is just the baking. I make so many cookies for Christmas. And that's like what I do. I make like hundreds of cookies and then I give them away. So I have like I've been making my list of cookies and it's like I have so many I have to make. You know, it's like 12
What are you
different
making
cookies
this year?
Well, sugar cookies and Rocky Road cookies, and then those Santa's trash cookies I made last year for the holiday bake sale.
Oh gosh,
Those are really good, and fudge and chocolate caramel crackers.
Didn't you make like Oreos in chocolate chip cookies? Or am I just those look so good.
And your Rocky Road cookies. I know those are
the Rocky
those are
Road cookies are that's a good
those
one.
are your standard.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows that's watching this, so we are referencing last year we did a vegan holiday party at the 519 on Church Street. So we're referencing all the cookies that Sarah also made and brought to that. So it's just a little heads up that when TVA has events and bake sales, this is what you can expect.
And I mean, our bake sale last year at that holiday party was crazy. It sold out in like an hour. Like people came in and just like ran to the bake sale.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's so popular. You know, like when we did Vegan Rock at that place called
that's
the
true.
Community. Yeah.
Super.
So and I remember I did those biscuits, and Sarah said, put some chive and put some vegan cheese, and it got all sold out. I think that's even if we're home bakers, but it's like it's so attractive for people to come in there and get some freshly baked baked goods, and it goes all quickly. Yeah.
And then another thing my mom always made for Christmas was Irish cream. So she makes her own Irish cream with whiskey and like I think there's like egg whites and sweetened condensed milk and everything. So she has veganized that recipe for me too. So we use the vegan sweetened condensed milk made with coconut and like some heavy soy cream, and I don't even know what else she makes it, chocolate syrup and lots of whiskey, and a very nice Christmas Day sipping drink too. So yeah, much better than the Baileys one you can buy at the LCBO.
The holidays are always about the smells. Like growing up, we had traditions where my mom would always bake on Christmas Eve. Like she never baked way in advance. So we had traditions where we would cream the butter and the sugar and make this sponge cake, which I realized is really a pound cake, it was so dense. And she would make the fruit cake and all of that. And, like I just remember, and she would bake the bread and the smell was just like, we couldn't wait to have it on Christmas Eve and then have it on Christmas Day and all of that. And I think those traditions, like I try to do some like make a bread. But the thing is that when you do so much and there's not enough people to have it or eat it, it just goes to waste.
Yeah.
And especially not having as many people coming by, so, but
Yeah.
you still want to make sure that those smells just radiate through the house. But I'm still researching to find a vegan fruitcake recipe that doesn't have alcohol. I found a few online. I saw Vegan Reacher posted one. She does a lot of gluten-free things, which I think Lainey, if you do follow her, she does have a lot of gluten-free.
Yeah.
And I found something. I follow this page called Heba's Kitchen. It's a vegetarian, but there's some that you can veganize. And so I'm still looking to see if I can be successful with a fruitcake. But
I make fruitcake every year. Actually, I didn't make it this year because my mom still has like half a loaf from last Christmas, and because there's so much rum in it, it'll just last forever. So definitely not your choice, Denise. But
I think there's so many new recipes that can give you that sense of it.
But Denise, like, can you like I know there's like partly there's like a taste, but obviously like if you don't like alcohol anyways, you probably don't like that taste. So is it like, can you just replace alcohol with like another liquid? Like I know I have this little chart on my fridge from Dr. Oz magazine that was like, if a recipe calls for like red wine and you don't have it, use like this. Then like, could you use like, I guess it wouldn't work.
Yeah, you can.
You're gonna use like vegetable broth, but
I've seen grape juice. I've seen grape juice being used. Yeah. So, but the thing with fruitcake, it's not just the alcohol. But when I get like intimidated, get all of these fruits and soak it overnight.
It's
like,
a weeks-long process.
Immediate, like no, thank you. I like my things quick and fast. That's why I love Irish soda bread. I just don't like things. So Lainey, tell us about your Lithuanian sort of like Christmas.
Thinking about just fruitcake, we make a cranberry fruit cake. It only has cranberries in it, and it's more cakes than fruit cake. But my mom, she's been making that every year, and it's like super easy, and she steams it still. But it's like one of those things where she was like, this would be like super intimidating, and then I don't know, but it's so, oh my gosh.
Did you say she steams it?
Yeah, when she bakes it. Yeah, but it's like really easy. It's like
where you put the water
putting it in the
pan?
oven, and then there's just water.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not like in a steamer on the
I know. I was
I know you thought.
I must say, Barbie, I just you sent us this apple bread recipe.
Did you make it?
Yes.
Wasn't it good?
It's fantastic. From like my son, I think he ate 3/4 of it, and it was done. and it's like apple cinnamon, right? Like it's like holiday flavors, right? It was amazing. I used
I should link that in the show notes.
Yeah, I used applesauce instead of the oil. It was so moist. And I plan to, those are like, I've selected a few recipes I'm going to do, and that's going to be one of them.
Nice.
Yeah. That sounds so good.
I'll link afterwards. I'll link in the comments for anyone that's listening and wants, both the latke recipe I mentioned and the apple cake
bread.
Recipe.
Yeah.
Sorry, apple cake.
And the banana bread is pretty good as well. You know, in the Caribbean, we do something called coconut sweet bread. So when I grew up, everyone was like, "You've got it's like sweet bread." They call it like, it's really like coconut bread. Sorry, banana bread, but they use the base as coconut. The thing about the coconut is that because we're on an island, we get a fresh coconut, so everyone gets it. They crack it open and they grate it. Because I don't like grating anything, I would probably not make the coconut, sweet bread, and I'll just have it by other people's homes. And that's very easily veganized. And that's vegetarian, like depending on what butter you use. So when I got these recipes for banana and apple, you don't have to grate anything.
Yes, but you have to chop the apples.
Chop the
You just need a food processor to grate stuff.
But I don't know. I guess I had
but
that.
Then you have to wash the food processor.
I know. Yeah, that's
it's a lot of work, and and I just love the apple bread and the banana bread. And I think, Lady, you make a really fantastic gluten-free banana bread. I mean, we've had that.
Yes, she
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yes.
I've definitely honed that skill over these past couple of months because it's so like, especially when you get like a pretty go-to recipe, you can just like, I don't know,
Bang it out.
perfect it. Yeah. It's like you don't like, I don't even need to look at the recipe anymore. It's just like,
Yeah.
boom, put it in, bake it. And making it into muffins, it's really good too. And it cooks in half the time. So
With your
yeah.
gluten-free, like what are things like you've had to switch to gluten-free for the holidays? Is there anything?
So our food is really similar to what we do for Thanksgiving. The biggest thing is the stuffing, which this year I think we made like probably one of the better stuffings. We do it from scratch. So we just buy, like I just get like a gluten-free loaf and then cube it and toast the cubes. And then on the stove, oh my gosh, stove. Wow. Stove. I make like it's like I don't even know, like I didn't follow a recipe. I kind of just winged it. And it was bouillon cubes, that basil, the butter sticks or whatever, like some of that. And then really, really finely chopped sweet onion, carrot, celery, and sage and rosemary. And like I like boiled it, so I got this like really good liquid. And then once the bread was like toasted, I poured it over and then I like toasted it again with that. And it was so good.
Oh, sorry. So 2 separate pots, one pot with the toasting bread and one pot with all those.
Or like a pan with the toasting bread.
Yeah.
Do you
love
guys
stuffing.
have like
So good.
specific drinks that you drink? Like that there is a
Irish
holiday
cream, Irish cream. We always,
Oh.
every few years, my mom and I will say that, we haven't had mulled wine in so long. Mulled wine is so delicious. And then we'll buy it and it's just so gross and we never finish it. So we'll each take like one sip and we'll be like, ugh, and then we'll throw it out. So pretty much just.
You should
like
make
what
it
is-
one year.
Yeah, I
I've
think we
seen
even
recipes
did
in
make it one
slow
year.
cookers, which
Yeah,
is such a good idea.
Yeah, because drinks are a big part of Caribbean life, like hard drinks. So soft drinks, like I like that pear jacks, like a fizzy pear drink. That's like once I open a bottle of that, and we've got 4 of them, I can't wait to try. I just feel like it just makes me feel like the holidays. And any malted type of drink, those drinks, those drinks are very, very common. And then and red wine, like the same wine you buy for the fruit cake, you always have a bit more so you can drink. But I was never into alcohol for a number of reasons. And then we also had I think those were, and then they were like the those like drinks that you can make from the Irish cream, the Baileys
Irish
and all of them.
coffees and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah, there were a lot of like it's called punch creme, where you've got that sort of creamy with alcohol or things that I didn't have, but they're all like once a certain time came around, those are the drinks that people would make. And then there's something called sorrel that is a plant. And they make that. So all of those drinks you associate, and some of them you like, some you don't, some you reject altogether. But that's like kind of a big tradition as well, the drinks.
Yeah. Well, and Bailey's does make a vegan Irish cream for people who do drink alcohol in the holidays. It's made out of
almond.
The almond milk. Yeah. It's decent. I mean, I've had it, but yeah, I still like my mom's better. So
yeah. Poured in some coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like, well, I guess like now a tradition where, like in the morning, opening presents, you like pour some of that Bailey's in your coffee and everybody's like, ooh, yay.
Oh yeah,
presents.
We always do, like my mom makes a huge breakfast and then we do presents and then like 2 hours later we have like a huge dinner. So it's just a food day. And for breakfast I usually make a vegan quiche, which is really good because I can make it the night before and then when I get up I just pop it into the oven, right? So
So,
And
so
speaking
Barbie,
of-
do you do anything like during the holidays? Do you have like you go to your family and friends?
Not much. Like we used to, like when I was like growing up and stuff, like we'd have like Hanukkah parties with more like with the extended family, like with cousins and stuff, and everyone would exchange presents. Lately, like we just do like usually just on my mom's side, like yeah, we'll have like just a Hanukkah party at some point where we just get together, but nothing too fancy or elaborate, just kind of like a lunch with some food. I did actually though remember one other thing that I wanted to mention, speaking of like products that you can buy. If people are looking for vegan challahs, obviously you could look up a recipe and make your own or whatever, but yeah, so challah, the thing that's in it is it's an egg bread, and now a lot of even like Jewish bakeries and places where you traditionally would buy challah, they make vegan challahs. Again, it's probably like vegan for the purpose of people that are keeping kosher and keeping meat and milk, although it's eggs, which
Or it's a
doesn't-
cholesterol thing is what I've read.
Maybe,
for
yeah.
people
So
who are with cholesterol, yeah.
oh, really? Interesting. Yeah. So they'll call them. They won't necessarily be calling them vegan challahs, but they call them water challahs.
Yeah.
So you might want to like ask just to make sure that it's completely vegan. But a lot of the big, like there's a particular bakery that I really like called I think it's called like Grodzinski's or something like that. But they have a couple locations, and yeah, they do a really good water challah. Yeah, Sweets from the Earth has had times where they have sold challahs like around different Jewish holidays. They didn't this year, but that's also something that you can look for.
Yeah. If you're in Hamilton, Coven does vegan challahs as well. So
Do they make their own?
yeah, I always see them posting it on Instagram. I think they do it every Friday. Like, yeah.
Forever? Like all year?
Yeah, I think they like regularly have the challahs on Fridays. Yeah. But yeah, I usually make them. So
Yeah, and I think that, you know, if it's your first vegan holiday or like you're gonna celebrate Christmas, that, you know, you can do a lot of Googling. A lot of the bloggers, they've got full vegan you know, feasts. So from your appetizer to your dessert to your main course, you can get everything already prepared and with the recipes. And especially, you know, if you do that ahead, you can start planning your ingredients. So there's so many resources. I just find that, you know, a lot of the foods that if you've loved when you were like an omnivore or a vegetarian, that you can absolutely veganize it. And that's what I love. I feel like there's a lot of the resources that we had at TVA and all the books and the blogs, everything. It's just, I know it's not as easy for a lot of people, but I feel using that makes it easier.
yeah.
This year is, or
Go ahead.
okay, I was just gonna say that this year's probably a good year too to like try out some new recipes since
Yeah.
like
You're not feeding other
family
people. That's a
dinners
good
aren't really a thing. So
Yeah.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
Just make more, and you know it's just for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Freeze it till the next year, like Sarah.
I picked up a whole bunch of cheese and salami from Wandering Deli yesterday. So I've got like a whole bunch of cheese from them. And then, yeah, like 2 different like sausage salamis from Sausage Party that they also sold there. So yeah, I'll make like a nice grazing board of a charcuterie platter for throughout the day. And yeah, that was always my big thing when I was vegetarian. It was like, oh, but I love cheese, you know, like everybody. But you know, you can do it. It's super easy. So yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna be doing some more shopping on the guide, the vegan gift guide.
I was just gonna say,
I'm
speaking
just-
of cheese, if you need Stokes, they're up there.
Yeah,
Just
and
in time.
a lot of
and
stuff.
Gary is as well. Yeah.
Who is?
There are a few of them I'm targeting, and and I'm picking up my s'mores cupcakes and my cookies on that I won from Kelly from the Vegan Abler. So you know, the thing is, I was so delighted that marshmallows, you know, there's the dandies that that's vegan. That's just like so amazing. So
yeah, even I was in a
full cookie with that. Whoa.
Yeah.
I was in a convenience store on Roncesvalles yesterday, completely like regular convenience store. I actually had the picture on my phone and I just deleted it like 2 hours ago. And I walked into this convenience store I had to buy a bar of soap, and they had all this vegan stuff there, and they had dandies even, and they even had big dandies and little dandies. Like, I swear it was like a convenience store
Whoa.
the size of this room. And they had dandies and they had like, what else? They had like, have you seen that new brand of like, and it's a vegan brand. It's not like an accidental thing, like Viva something. They make like a Nutella
Oh
or
yeah.
something.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
if
yeah,
anyone's-
yeah. I've
If
seen.
anyone's around there,
yeah.
they had all kinds of stuff. They had all the ice creams. They had Gardein stuff in a little freezer. It was like a real.
I guess
weird
Roncesvalles would be like one of the places you'd find a little gem like that. So
So are there any questions?
Nope, no questions have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but this. So if
We'll
you're
post all
so
these
maybe
links.
we can close and
Yeah.
and if you haven't seen us live or you're gonna see us recorded, I hope that you enjoyed the tips that we've given you and know that it's all the resources are there through the TVA, our website, our resources, or books that are currently on sale through our Veg Holiday Market, and all the bloggers and all the resources that we share all the time on Facebook. We hope that everyone has a really wonderful holiday time. Just
And don't
continue
forget
to
the market.
stay- Yeah, the market.
And don't forget the
is
market is still going. In case you are
Yes.
watching this, even if you're not watching this Friday, if you're watching it Saturday, Sunday, it's still going. So make
Still
sure to
on.
get out. Yep.
vegholidaymarket.veg.ca, and it's still on. And so this vaccines are here, and we're hopeful that we can see each other again in person. And we hope that everyone has a very wonderful holiday, vegan holiday at that.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for joining
Bye.
us, everyone. Have a
Bye.
good day.